You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm feeling naked without a hat, but let's do it.
Going for that wizard look.
Or Jesus, whatever.
Same thing.
I mean, walks on water, water to wine. Yeah,
Resurrects himself.
Yeah.
that's a necromancer skill, not a wizard skill.
I don't give a shit.
Fucking tomato,
I
man.
don't give a fuck. I don't give a single shit about that. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Game of the Month for October, the show where we pick a game at random and throughout the month we play it and we talk about the end of the month. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And before we talk about Secret World Legends, which was our Game of the Month for October, and I apologize, we're doing this a little later than I would have liked to, but this week has kind of settled on a weird part in between 2 months, but I'm sure you guys understand. Quick reminder to play, we are in a new month now, Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition. I will only be calling that Bulletstorm from now on, and Yakuza Kiwami, both are for free on PlayStation Plus as of, I think, the 7th. You'll be able to download those, play those, come back at the end of the month for Plus Club for November, and we'll talk about that. If you missed Plus Club, that happened Wednesday. We talked about Friday the 13th, the game, and Laser League. So if you missed that, go check that out. Another quick reminder that we have Discord link down below. Discord link down below. It's down there. I promise it is. Unless it's gone, then I'm sorry. And we are on podcast platforms, iTunes, Spotify, and everything else under the sun. If you'd like to listen to us, and if you listen to us, you want to watch us on YouTube, check us out at Tasty Loot Gaming. So yeah, Game of the Month. We have to pick a new game for November. I think November is going to be a lot better for me in my life and my schedule to be playing games of the month picked at random, because last month was awful. There's too much.
I don't believe any month's a good month anymore.
No, but October's really bad. I mean, like, they're all bad, but this one's really bad.
Yeah, except for now I'm playing catch up, and so this might be my bad month.
Yeah.
We'll
I've
see.
been on top of shit. I think the weakest spot was the game we're talking about this episode.
Next game?
Yeah. What are we playing in November?
We are playing
Random number is 16.
Project Zomboid.
Really?
The fuck is that?
I forgot about that game. Project Zomboid is a game that came out in the height of the DayZ era. It is a top-down zombie survival game, but you play as like a little created character.
Diablo.
And you wander around and you have to loot like houses and try not to get killed. It's actually kind of neat, and I'm curious to see if they've updated it since we last played it, because that was a long time ago. So we'll have to make a server for that. Yeah. We'll figure it out, though. Project Zomboid, we will be playing at some point in November. So make sure to play that, or if you've played it, come back to the end of the month and we will talk about that. Do I have any other things I got to be reminding people of?
You did Discord. You did iTunes. You did the Plus game.
Chris wasn't here for Plus Club. If you can do it pretty briefly, let us know. Quick impressions of Laser League, and then give us a grade.
Laser League, a semi-competitive game that I would see only really viable as a party game, maybe.
I kind of said something similar to that.
Sorry?
I said something similar to that in the sense that I talked about it would probably be fun if you're playing with some friends, like 4 of you just fucking around. But other than that, it's kind of frustrating.
And even then as a party game, it's kind of like, oh, let's play this for a little while, and then you'd get bored of it, I think. Overall, I'd give it a C, though. It's competent, but just not highly entertaining for someone like me.
Did we all give it C's? Yep. It's a C game. You can't even debate it. He wasn't even here for that. He just out of his ass. C. Yep, it's a C. Can't be a C plus. It ain't that good. Can't be a C minus. Ain't that bad.
Because, I mean, it's playable, but...
Yeah, it works.
There's literally nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. You just got to be into it. And like me and Cher kind of saying, like, if you fucking are into that kind of game, you probably love it. It's probably a fucking B plus A minus.
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's too hard of competitive drive for that game.
I don't know. I played some pretty fucking intense matches. And I also kind of feel the same way, although I get Rocket League, but Rocket League is also kind of a basic premise that the community is kind of advanced. But for me, I can't get into that game all too much. I see the merit there, but I just don't have any drive for it. But a lot of people fucking love that game. So I don't think this will ever hit something like that, but It's definitely got to have a community because there's no other game like it really. So
All I thought of was Tron the whole time I was playing it.
it was definitely inspired by the light bikes. It's not the same concept, but it's still you're dodging light and moving light and manipulating light in an arena. So
Right.
they definitely were watching Tron and went, I got an idea. I've smoked enough weed. That's how I create them ideas.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah.
need it. I don't know. I don't. My brain's fucking crazy. Shit just comes to me.
Mine's off half the time.
Yeah. See, he's not even fucking. He's not making no Tron game. And I might on accident. I don't know. Don't need no weed. Anything else you want to say on Laser League?
No.
God, that should have been our whole episode. It's a competitive game. I'm not really into it. See, it should just be the whole every plus club. People will be like, "Oh, 3 minutes? That ain't bad."
Popcorn episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Friday the 13th.
A game that feels like it's lacking because of the current legal issues, I think.
I agree with that. What did you
Think
think
if
about
they
your
had-
experience with it, though? Did you have fun with it? Was there anything wrong with it you didn't like? I agree 100% with that analysis, though.
I think I had a bad experience only because I didn't have a working headset, so I couldn't communicate with people even if I had a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, that kind of sucked. You also had a bad experience because you ran into me first match when I was Jason.
You were killer, I think, 50 to 75% of the time I played.
Yeah, when we played, it was like Seth's killer all the time. I was like, God damn it, dude. And I'm like pretty decent at being killer. I'm not saying I'm the best, but I'm pretty good. I typically kill everybody. There's like one match ever I didn't, and I was like, fuck.
I didn't escape at once. I died every time.
Yeah, it
But
happens.
I think because of my previous experience of watching a lot of people play this game, I knew the gist of what to do. But if you just come to this fresh, you're going to be lost completely.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of a hindrance. I get it that you're supposed to be like this 80s survival horror thing, but like even then, it's still kind of a hindrance to the player. It's not a bad game, but it's lacking due to, I believe, the lawsuit that is hindering it.
Yeah, I
So
think it's a huge speed bump.
It is. It's just C to me. It's passable, but it's not amazing to me. It could be so much better.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. C and a C. It's a C kind of month for Chris. Fair. Anything else anybody wants to say on either of that? We're kind of
We did this.
passing this shit. All right. Let us know in the comments if you didn't. Just go watch that episode. Let us know what you think of Chris's opinion. Be like, no, or yeah.
It was a long episode. So.
Yeah, it was like 50 fucking minutes because Chevy had way more to say about Friday the 13th than I thought he would. He talked about more than I did. I was just listening to him like, well, goddamn, you got a lot out of that game. I'm just like, kill good when I'm Jason, kill bad when I'm fucking camp counselor. But cracking Jason in the face with a fucking bat, always real good. Yeah, so this month we were tasked with playing Secret World Legends. If you don't know what that is, it is an MMO RPG, if you need it to be explained like that, that came out a while back. It is based in modern times, but with a twist in bringing like pretty much every kind of mythological or supernatural idea into the game. It has kind of a darker tone to it. It mixes a little bit with like conspiracy as well, with like the Illuminati being in it. There's 3 factions, Dragon, Illuminati, and something. Templars, thank you. And yeah, you play as a person who comes into having certain powers that taps into the secret world, and you create a character like any other MMO, and you level up like any other MMO. The only thing that's different about this, Legends is a almost a redux of the original version. They tried to modernize it a bit. They made the combat less traditional, and they are now calling it like an action RPG, which I think is kind of interesting because when I played it, it still seemed like an MMO to me. And they apparently, because I didn't play far enough into this iteration, I think it's worth mentioning we all played this quite a bit in the first iteration. Apparently, they have simplified a lot of the systems and skills in the game, but I did not get far enough to find out about that. Anything else I should mention when it comes to what this game is? Because, I mean, it's an MMO.
No, I think you pretty much got it.
There's Wendigos in it. There's also...
You say that every time.
Well, I like saying Wendigo. It's a fun word. They're not fun things, though. Look them up. Play Until Dawn. Yeah. So we all played it. Chevy, you go first. Impressions. What was your impressions this month? Well, actually, I think it's also important we kind of mention a little bit about our prior impressions too, if you want to mix it in there, because it's trying to be a different game.
Okay, so coming from the original game of actually putting the time in and getting a decent feel for that game, it was. I was kind of expecting it to be this very different game when I came back to it, and after installing it and beginning to play it, I realized they hadn't really changed a whole lot in the regards of like the way that like the story's told and the character process and whatnot, except for it seems like they did really simplify classes because originally you picked, I thought it was and I could be wrong, but a primary ability, and then later in the game you would pick your secondary one, and you could just kind of build your own class that way.
Yeah, it did have more freeform. I think they did try to simplify it so people coming into it would just kind of know what they're getting into.
Yeah. And honestly, I kind of don't like it in that regard.
Well, like I was saying before, so I played this game a little bit this month, but I also watched some videos because I wanted to know what people were saying about it, because I wanted to know what the bigger differences are. And some people were saying that, just to be clear, people in the community are happy with the new version. In fact, a lot of the old players don't play the new version. And so people are afraid that the game is going to die because there's not enough new people to play it. But people are also saying from the old, saying that the new version is better for newer people because it's easier to get into. It's just, it's too little too late at this point. But it does alienate all the people who played it prior because they're used to that system. They like the depth of the system. And I'm inclined to agree with them. I have about 90 to 100 hours in the past version, which in MMO terms isn't that much, but it's plenty to get a feel for the game. And I did definitely notice that difference that people were talking about.
Yeah, for sure. So with, I suppose, that in mind, I also kind of agree with that regard. The game feels too basic, at least in the beginning. I did not get far enough into to experience it anymore, but if that's the general consensus, it sounds like it doesn't change very much.
Yeah, in fact, people are saying it almost gets worse the further you get into it.
I did pick a different faction this time. I believe, I can't remember which one I played originally, but I picked Dragon this time. Went through that, even though I'm pretty sure I'd made a character in each one before because I recognized the entire intro to that. Went through the subway scene and then started doing the zombie stuff, and then I pretty much was like, okay, I pretty much got the gist of what I'm doing. And how I feel about it. The big major thing I noticed is obviously the combat is completely changed, and this I think is the third or fourth MMO I've played that has attempted to do this like action feel.
That's masking an MMO with an action feel.
It's not truly action. It's a freeform camera while you still hit macros.
Which is how I play MMOs already anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not a big difference for me. So like I have this really bad habit because I play, primarily on PC. I play a lot. Well, I play everything on PC, but I'm a big FPS guy, and so I'm used to using the mouse to look around. And when I play an MMO, I hold right click and free look as I'm moving around, like I'm playing a first person shooter. And I know a lot of people don't do that, but some people do. So when the game now is just kind of doing that for me anyway, it doesn't even feel different to me.
I do that in dungeons and raids, but I don't do that while questing. So,
although the button positions are different now because you're not hitting the macros the same.
Right. No, it actually feels more akin to something like Blade and Soul.
Yeah, or I was gonna say Neverwinter.
Except for Neverwinter plays well.
Yeah, Neverwinter's pretty good.
I haven't played Neverwinter in a while, so I could have a bad representation there.
Hop back into that. I was like, yep, I beat this. And I just like left.
Yeah,
there's all new shit. But I was like, nope, I did it.
So yeah, I was actually not impressed with the new combat system. I actually think every time I've used this system in a game, minus a couple, and Neverwinter I think is probably one of the bigger examples of that. I don't think it works. And obviously it technically works. It doesn't work for me, I guess would be a better way to put that. I like the traditional feel, and if you're going to go with an action feel, make an action game, I think. Vindictus is a great example of that. So I had a hard time with that. Then the the oversimplification and stuff like that. The other problem I had is because and this isn't, I'm not using this as a knock towards the game. This is just made it hard for me to play. I've done the intro so many times. I had a hard time staying interested, and because the combat was not fun for me, I really just had zero interest. It was like forcing myself to play the whole time, I felt like. So
Yeah, he wanted to play God of War, Spider-Man, Soul Calibur 6.
well, yeah, but I mean,
Fuck this game.
that wasn't the reason. What?
It's my
Because like
reason.
I sat down, I started playing, like, this is what I'm doing, and then I did that in a couple sessions, and I just couldn't stick with it. So
I got to the zombie land, and fucking there's some like weird cowpoke fucking hillbilly there eating his Hank and beans. He's like, well, howdy there, partner. And I slowly just turned and looked over at my PS4. I was like, Red Dead? I was about to fucking turn that shit off and go play that. I was like, this ain't a good cowboy game.
no. One more complaint, actually. I don't have a lot of positive apparently here. My other complaint is, and Chris also experienced it.
This ain't getting good.
The game is runs awful now. Whatever they have done to the game has made it very stuttery, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Chris, that they stream part of the game to you now.
Yes.
Their servers aren't that great if that's the case. So, yeah.
My computer is aging, and I have a second computer that is not, but I just haven't gotten running for some reason. And fucking, so I would say my computer is gracefully aging. It's showing its older colors, but it's still playing everything pretty fucking good. And so like one of the last games I had, it's a 2016 game, but I was playing the newest, or well, I guess the newest Doom. The new one's not out yet. Max graphics, fast-paced game, jump around shooting shit, looks fucking fantastic, going crazy. And then I was playing Secret World Legends, and I'm like lagging around, and like it'd stop and freeze for a second, and then move forward and turn. I was like, what the fuck? And when I played it prior, I never did that either.
Correct.
So for a second, I'm like, oh shit, something's wrong with my PC. It's ready to die finally. And then I was like, this seems really unnatural. This is like, I mean, everything else on my computer is working just fine. Why the fuck is this happening? And then you said that, I'm like, that's got to be it.
Yeah.
It has to.
So what it is that when you download the game initially, you get a partial download. You don't even get the full content. And what happens is they stream the content to you live as you move through the world. So if you move to a different area of the zone, it'll load in all of that images and those characters and all the stuff as you get to them, instead of everything being loaded and waiting for you. And then as you move out of things, those things deload. Unless you do this fucking hidden in the menus, deep down, right over corner, up here, press load, like it's like download full client, and then it downloads a whole lot more data for you. There's still the streaming aspect to it, but it's not as intense.
Yeah, I did the full download. I was still having problems.
And see, if that worked well with their servers, it would make sense, because that would actually allow them to let people play on like lesser computers too, because there's less stuff the computer itself is having to process.
Right.
Right.
But obviously it's not working, because I guess this game's been out as it is for a year now. I didn't realize it'd been out that long.
I was reading forums about it, and people have been complaining about it for a long time, and they refuse to change. They say it would be too much of an overhaul to change the system now.
Yeah.
What that says is we invested a bunch of money. It's not worth to invest more. That's what they're saying. Anyways, that's my general impression of the game.
It's the same shit they said with fucking DayZ standalone. They're like, fix this. Like, we don't know how. We already built the game. We can't debuild it.
Fix what?
I'm like, fuck, okay, that's not a good thing to hear. When you're like, I don't know what to do. We made the game. It's already built. It's like you built a house and now it's like wobbly, and they're like, well, it's already built. What do you want us to do? Break it?
Technically.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll jump in real quick. Keep it pretty brief. Just so you guys know, transparency, I actually really, really, really like the original version of Secret World. I think it's actually probably one of my favorite MMOs. Not top like 5, but it's definitely in the top 10. I liked it quite a bit. I think it has some really cool ideas. I think the storyline's actually pretty interesting. I like that it's bold enough to do a modern MMO, because you don't see enough of those. It has guns in it, which is kind of tricky to do in a lot of MMOs. And it also had a lot of elements that it didn't hold your hand at all. It's like, figure out this puzzle. Here's some fucking hints. Run around town, figure it out. That's something that's almost unheard of in gaming in general. Most games are just like, go that way. Okay, here's a riddle, but once you go that way, go over there. Go. It shoves you. Go. Nathan Drake's like, I think we gotta go over here where the game's telling me to go. You're like, okay, Nathan, I'll go that way. So I had a lot of really cool stuff with it, and I played enough to. I mean, we all played it for a while there, and it was really fun. I think Legends has good intentions, and for the most part, I don't have as much complaints as you do. I think it actually looks pretty decent for an older MMO in 2018. People were saying it doesn't look good, but I think they're just saying, as a 2018 game, it doesn't look good, but I recognize the game's been out for a while. A lot of older MMOs don't look great now, but it's still, everything's smooth looking. The animations are a little stiff, but whatever. I thought it was pretty decent to look at still. The new system didn't bother me so much. I actually slightly preferred it, although I felt like I was missing something that used to be there, so I don't know what the fuck that was. Yeah, I mean, I got a little further than you did, but my big thing is I would have played it longer, but I have a really bad problem with when I put a lot of time into something and then they restart it and I have to restart from the beginning again. And it's not even because I necessarily am upset that they did that. I just don't have the will to want to do that all over again. For whatever reason, they decided to restart everybody because they probably did the skill tree, which they did, and I kind of like the way they did it, although it is, simplified. I was already like, I already put 100 hours into this. I don't want to do it again. There's so many other games I want to play right now. I can't reinvest all that time. I like the game. I like what you guys did with it. I am curious about what happens later in Endgame, even though I guess the newest expansion's 3 hours long. Which is kind of crazy. Wow. Yeah, people said you can beat all the content in 3 hours. I was like, what the fuck is that? In MMO, you can't do that.
Destiny does a better job than that.
And it's not even like a fucking full-fledged open-world MMO.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad when you're like, Destiny did better. And it's content. It's fucking Destiny's got a kind of legacy. I like Destiny, too. Don't fucking
but it's
yell
still,
at me.
It's still short, though.
Yeah. Yeah, for the most part, I liked most things about it. I had a hard time. I struggled with reinvesting time in it. I couldn't see future playing it, which is not a good sign, and will affect my grade, regardless of if I like the game or not. If I can't see potential in playing it later, I have to grade it accordingly. Also, reinvesting time into an MMO that I see potentially having problems staying afloat for a long time also is something that I'm very aware of right now because of WildStar. I got into that for a little bit there, and like a month later, they're like, it's going down. I was like, well, I'm glad I didn't start spending money on this fucking thing. I do think it's kind of fucked up that a lot of stuff you bought in the original Secret World, you have to rebuy in Legends. I think that was a very, very cheap thing to do. I watched a video where they said that they were upset because they had bought a bunch of items in the first iteration, and new iteration, because of rebalancing, you had to repurchase those items. And I was like, that's pretty shitty.
Yeah.
I think it's Funcom that did this game too. I don't remember for sure, but they did Conan as well. But yeah. Yeah, so I mean, overall, good enough experience, but I see no longevity. I don't see myself sticking with it, and I don't know if I'll come back to it. I hope the game does well, and maybe at some point in the future, it'll be popping again. It's possible, and I might come back, but as of right now, I can't re-level my character because I just don't want to do it for a slightly different combat system to what I already did, and laggy-ass servers. That's also a big fucking issue for me. They did add extended intros, which I thought was kind of cool. When I watched it, I thought it looked slightly different. You guys both kind of said it looked the same. I looked it up. They did change them slightly. There's a little bit more to them, so we're both pretty much right. And yeah. So everything, good intentions, but they didn't nail it at all. And I think it will hurt the game. And that sucks because, like I said, the original version, people literally have been like asking them to just bring it back to the original. People loved that game. I did a bunch of research. I was reading the fucking comments and watching videos and shit. Everybody's like, just bring back the old game. What are you doing? Just make that free to play. Just fucking bring that back. We want to play that. I don't want to play this. And I'm like, I mean, I kind of get it. If I started brand new right now, probably would have been a lot easier. But I'm also part of that old guard. And I don't want to fucking play this. So
yeah.
Especially when the initial experience is pretty much the same, only watered down. I'm walking through the same zones, killing the same things I already did. I'm getting the same fucking gear I already had. I'm building a character that's simpler than my character. I have less choice in that build. So I mean, like, why would I want to do that?
Funcom.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that's my impressions. Good intentions, not well executed.
Yeah, well, for the first, I think, 2-3 hours, I couldn't play the game because of the bad loading stuttering issue. And it took me forever to figure out how to fix it. Once I got that fixed, it was relatively all right. And though it is an older game, the graphics for me are kind of jarring. It feels like I'm playing like The Sims 2 or 3, maybe.
Oh, it definitely has a sim look. For sure.
Especially the cutscenes.
Yeah.
It literally looked like someone had just made a movie with a Sims maker. And this is coming from someone who's playing like World of Warcraft, which is, the big AAA MMO right now. But the fact that I can only make one character, one class at a time, and have to go through that every time if I want to even try a slight difference in classes, because you don't really get a feel for a class until you get higher level, is really annoying to me. I ended up playing a Trickster, which is apparently a tank class, but I don't feel like a tank class. I don't feel like I'm doing anything to cause a lot of threat. I don't feel like I'm mitigating or taking a lot of damage in a meaningful way. It just feels like I'm there and things are looking at me. I even got the character up to level 10. I made it all the way up to the first dungeon before I stopped playing. It's not the same. And I'm really disappointed that I don't even get any semblance of my original character back. And I've heard that you get like something for playing the original. I don't know where that is.
Yeah, I said that, and it's because
menus are weird.
When Legends first launched, I remember looking at them explaining the free to play aspect they're going towards, and they're like, "Don't worry, if you played the original version, we're gonna give you this, and this." And I don't know what those things were. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, the free to play model is a poor one for this game. There is a bar that is permanent across the top of your screen, which is really jarring for me. I can deal with like being able to like move it or like activate it to press a button to bring it up again, but having it permanently there is just very jarring. It's the best I could put it, and it's so like free to play, bad free to play game bar where you press Alt to move the mouse separately from the game and basically access a bunch of like shops to buy stuff.
Yeah, I have a pretty big problem with a lot of games that start out pay for going free to play because most of them don't transition well. When the game is built for free to play, those are typically really good because that was the original idea. So they built the game off of that idea. But when they're trying to translate a game that was originally full content for what you paid for, and now they gotta essentially take some of that content from you or add cheap content they had to create on the fly to fucking launch this, and try and incentivize you to give them money and have all these menus and advertisements all over the UI and shit. It just gives me a sense of like cheap, and it sucks coming from something that was premium originally, because like we all played the last one and that was a pay for but free to play game. Like you bought it and then you played it. There was no monthly fee, and I don't mind that because I didn't mind buying the game. They had to keep the servers up.
It's a buy to play.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of tricky too because they have to run the servers. But I'm sure if you get enough people playing, which I think they did, you just have those microtransactions of like buy this fucking top hat or whatever the hell,
or this sweet T-shirt.
This stupid ass shirt you can buy for fucking a bunch of money. These Yeezys you can wear. But yeah, so when they have to double down on that because they're going free to play, try to get more people, it's a gamble, and I think this game's gonna really nail it because I think it's cheapened the game itself by going this route.
And to me, what it felt even more like cheap in the sense of the game was I went through the item shop just to see what cosmetics you could buy, and some of the Halloween event items were direct rip-offs of characters from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, not even joking, you buy outfits to make you look like Lock, Stock, and Barrel, little trick-or-treater kids from the movie.
Dope.
Literally exactly like them. They just slightly changed the names of them.
Hell yeah.
It feels so chintzy and cheap.
That's dope to me. I want to dress like those fuckers.
Go play Maple Story. You can look
No.
like whatever you want.
I'm not doing that. Who the hell are you talking to? I'm playing fucking Maple Story. That shit, what year is it? Fucking 1805?
Maple Story 2's out.
Whatever.
And I don't mind if like MMOs do like, you know, cosmetic items where they have a partnership with like a company. Let's say that they somehow managed to get a partnership with Disney and get, you know, Nightmare for Christmas licensed, you know, cosmetics. That'd be
Think
fine. But the
Funcom's
fact
doing
you're,
that?
like, what?
I think Funcom's able to do that.
Fucking
Well, I mean, in a
free-to-play cell phone
hypothetical
companies do
sense, say they could. That would be fine with me. But if they're just doing like this blatant ripoff, and it's just feels so tacky to me.
That's something that's really was back when I was playing more like Korean MMOs, was very common in Korean MMOs, is a lot of just like direct outfits that you recognize from everything ever. And like everyone's just dressed up like things from other outside of that game, and it kind of takes me out of it. But I also don't mind it because like, what other game are you getting those outfits? If they're willing to just swallow their pride and go, here's some ripped off shit, there's gonna be people out there going like, man, I'm really invested with this MMO. I fucking love the horror theme. I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I can dress up like those little asshole kids. This is amazing. So I mean, like, I get why they do it. I don't even have that big a problem with it. Is it shameless? Fuck yeah. I mean, like, you have to look someone dead in the face and go, yeah, I ripped that off. Otherwise, you're just being a dickhead. Like, you can't tell them, I don't know. I felt inspired. Oh, I bet you did.
Felt like
when you watched
kidnapping
that
the Santa Claus.
movie from fucking 1994. I'm sure it got a lot of inspiration. Watched Jurassic Park, I got real inspired. I was like, those velociraptors are real fucking smart. So am I. That's where I got my smarts from. Velociraptors.
Mm-hmm. I wish I had more positive things to say about this game because we've all invested so much time in the first iteration of it, that it just feels like a slap in the face coming back to this.
It just sucks too, because I really enjoyed the first one. When we put this on the list, it was on the last version, so we had intentions of returning to it because we were playing it pretty regularly, and then we fell out of it for the same reasons every game. And then we were like, that'd be a good game to go back to. We all enjoyed playing that. We were all kind of around the same level. And then this new version came out, and I was like, well, I mean, that's pretty good for people who are watching who might not have bought it, 'cause now you have a chance to play it. But now it's like, it's a watered down version. So, I mean, like, I probably would have, because I was looking, I was like, man, I actually kind of miss this game. It was kind of cool coming back to this area. But I was like, I don't want to do this part again, though. I did this. I don't know. I didn't want to go through it again. Not for that. So, kind of sucked. Anything else? I have less complaints than you guys, but we all are kind of just like, on it. Recommendations. I'm going to make it real easy. I don't have a whole lot of recommendations. I think if you like MMOs, you should have tried this, and you should try this. You might not like it, but if the old potential of the game is still in there somewhere and you find it, I think it's worth playing. It is still, in my opinion, a very original MMO, and that's very hard to fucking say when it comes to MMOs, because most of them are trying to be fantasy. And by fantasy, I mean WoW. And yeah, a lot of MMOs don't really stand out on their own anymore. I mean, all the classics do, but in the last 8 years, a lot of them are just like copying somebody. So I think this game's worth trying. Even hopefully you can get past all the streaming shit. Hopefully you can get past all the hindrances, because underneath that, the core game's still there, and just a little watered down. If you didn't play the past one, it's not going to be that big a deal to you. Yeah, and if you like horror themed games, and not necessarily like scary games, but like horror, macabre, darker elements, you like playing games that just have darker themes, it's definitely worth checking out. It dives into some pretty cool stuff. I also like darker stuff, so anything that's kind of like, ooh, spooky, there's a mystery, there's fucking zombies and ghosts and all this shit, and conspiracies. I'm like, dope, fucking fry my brain on that shit. So yeah, I think it's worth checking out, especially if you're an MMO fan and you like horror stuff. I mean, it's pretty much your only option outside of Requiem,
I
can
think of a real old one. You just said it.
Requiem. I forgot what the last version. I remember it was it used to be Bloody Mare, and then the version after that was fucking I don't remember, something more Mori something. Memento Mori. Yeah. That was a horror themed
That's an
MMO.
old one.
Yeah, it had Ragdoll, and I loved that. Ragdoll and MMO's fucking
Had
dope.
jibbing too, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You could hit somebody and they'd blow up and blood would go everywhere. You'd hit them and they'd ragdoll and shit. And I was like, more MMOs need that. There's no excuse for this. These guys are making a free-to-play MMO. that I mean looks fine back then. I'm sure now it looks horrible. And they nailed it. Why the fuck isn't anybody else nailing it? Just fucking nail it.
Is that gonna be like the Nike thing?
Just nail
except
it.
for you?
Yeah. My face, just nail it. Just don't put that over certain things because that's a tricky one. That's a risky
I can't say it.
Contextual.
Thank you.
contextual basis.
God. I only want to add to the MMO part of your recommendation.
If you like bad watered down MMOs, you'll
If
pay dicks.
you enjoy Neverwinter, Terra, and other MMOs that are trying to simulate action games, this is something you should try because it is also trying to do the same thing. And this one might click for you.
And it's not the worst one that I've played. There's some of them I'm like, why the fuck are you even pretending you're an action game? This is just an MMO. You just made it weird.
Chris?
If you like laggy games.
I can only think of one thing, and it's if you enjoy free-to-play Korean MMOs, play this. If you don't, then don't.
I think Funcom's a German company.
I think it is.
But it plays like a free-to-play Korean MMO.
Now it does, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grades.
Fuck it. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna grade it higher than you guys, I guarantee. Just because I have an affinity for the old one quite a bit. I liked it a lot. And I don't think they fucked up that bad. Although the lag is a really big problem. And that they're not working on that a year in is not fucking good. But it is a cheaper experience from the prior one. I think that I would have gave the prior version a B plus, probably. Maybe even A minus, but B plus for sure. I'm gonna give this a fucking, I don't know, B. I'm gonna give it a B for watered down. It lost the plus. I'm still giving it a B just because it still has most of the stuff I like about it. It just it's it's unplayable, which should make it lower. But I'm still just remembering those old days. And I like the themes, and I don't think it looks that bad. As of right now, I've played like every MMO ever. So fucking like I've seen like bottom of the barrel shit fucking MMOs.
I've enjoyed some of those bottom of the barrel
So
ones.
have I.
Yeah.
There was one you really liked, and it was like garbage looking. I forgot what the fuck it was called. Oh yeah, I mentioned it recently, and you didn't even remember what the fuck it was. You're like, I don't remember that. And you like went to look it up. I was like, you're the one who liked that. I played it because you played it. He doesn't remember things. Yeah, I'm gonna give it. Now I'm regretting. I feel like I need to give it a B minus. I'm sticking with the B. It's fine. It's fine, and it's got things I like about it. So it's fine with stuff I personally like. It just take this shit down. Give us the old servers.
Chris?
Give me my fucking character back.
Go ahead, Chris.
C minus.
Woo!
This is such a bastardization of the game. I almost gave it a D. I'm literally like this close to giving it a D. It's such a bastardization of the original game that I can't fathom playing this ever again.
That's weird. Your grading system is weird for me.
Yeah.
I know.
Because C minus is like, it's a little bit under fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you're
People are still
you're
playing the
speaking a different language to me. Anyways, go ahead.
It's still physically a playable game.
Mm-hmm.
It has mechanics to it that are competent-ish, but it's so watered down and so free to play, washed out that I personally would never go back to it again.
Okay.
I would if they fixed it, or if they brought back the old servers.
If they bring back the old servers and they bring back the old way of playing, I'd definitely go back to it. Absolutely.
Well, based off poor memory, I would also say the original game was in the B range somewhere.
Yeah.
That being said, this version I think is a D plus.
Ooh.
I don't like the way it plays. The lag is really bad, and I think oversimplifying the system kind of ruins what made the original game neat. When I have a hard time when someone gives you a lot of options and then decides you don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. And
Or they decided that what you want doesn't matter anymore, and what they think that the people they think are dumb need is that.
Yeah.
It's called being alienated.
Well, and like Chris said, I don't think I'm even willing to give this game a further shot. Even if they improve service stability and stuff like that, I don't like the current way the game plays and the systems of it anymore. I mean, I don't play Terra, and not that I think Terra is necessarily a bad game, but for me, that type of game just doesn't work for me. The only one that ever has worked for me in that regard has been Neverwinter, and I didn't stick with that either. I just played it enough to hit max level, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm done.
You beat it. Me too.
It's not like when I sit down and I play like Final Fantasy 14 and I can actually like just hang out in that game all day because I actually enjoy being there. So, yeah, not a good game anymore, I don't think, which sucks because thematically and the content that is still in the game because they didn't take it out is very cool. It's just between, like I said, the lag and the way the game plays and the oversimplification, it's just not something I enjoy doing anymore, and especially if you can't play it because of lag. So
Yeah. So you gave a D+, he gave a C-. I gave it a B. I want to reiterate real quick, even though when he hit that fucking C-, I was like, fuck, should I give it a fucking B-? And you're like D+. I'm like, fuck. Should that have been a C+? The only reason I'm overlooking the lag is because there is a different option that I didn't explore, so I can't speak on it.
I did.
It might make the game better. I don't know. Also, it's something they can fix in the future. It is regrettable that it's fucked still after a year. There's no excuse for that. But if they were to fix that, that would actually alleviate, for me, about 75% of my problem with the game. The oversimplification does suck, and the lack of my progress. I can't dock it too much for that because that's just something they did. It's shitty, but it's not a problem with the game. It's a problem with what they did to me personally. But yeah, still underneath that lag, I think there's a lot of good game there. And like I said, the new combat system doesn't bother me because it reminds me of how I played it anyway already. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to say on that?
nope.
Goodbye, Secret World. You're staying secret, bitch. Let us know in the comments, what do you think about Secret World Legends? Did you play the old version? Have you played the new version? What do you think of either of them? We're obviously talking about Legends, but if you played the last one, you probably have more things to say about this. Did you play the new one and you didn't play the last one? What are your opinions there? I'd be really fucking curious about that. Yeah. Even if right now you're like, oh, I didn't play it. Maybe I should. Check it out. Fucking let me know what you think of it. Let me know how that lag is, too. That was the biggest thing. I was like almost pissed at my computer, and I was like, this can't be my computer. And yeah, what do you think about Wendigos? And that's going to do it for this episode of... Whoa,
Game of the Month.
Why'd you get so bright in there?
His white balance is fucking with me, man.
Yeah. That's going to do it for Game of the Month for October. Remember, we're playing Project Zomboid in November. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook at Tasty Loot Gaming.
Damn.
Yeah, I was trying to hit it as fast as I could. I think I did it. Check out me and Chris on Twitch at Tasty Senpai, all one word. Me, that's me. Tasty Senpai, all one word. Chris, Tasty_fruit. Hit the notification button to know when we go live. I also dual stream, so if I'm streaming, you'll see me here as well. But if you prefer Twitch, I'll be there too. Even though I always feel really bad. I look at the little thing, and it's like, one person watching. 2 people watching, and then everyone on YouTube is just like, hey, fuck you, Santa. I'm like, fuck you guys, and people are just on Twitch like, who's he talking to? My people. And then I'll see him go 0. There's gone. Just like, fuck this crazy guy. Which I mean, it's fine. I'm on your side on that. I agree. Yeah, Discord link down below. Promise it's there. iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. Listen to us if you prefer that. Save some data. Unless you got that unlimited plan, Larry. And check us out on YouTube at Tasty Loot Gaming if you prefer to watch us as well. It's always a lot more fun when you see all these beards. Chris?
I'll just draw one on.
Yeah.
I could grow it in like 3 days.
I'm gonna take a PNG of a beard and just superimpose on your face.
God, please, here, no.
Every episode, you're just gonna have a different fucking beard on.
You know, there's these things called frames that he can.
Nope.
Yeah, that'd be pretty. I could do it. Don't test me. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Until next episode, which will be Tasty Cast. I think we might have a guest. I don't want to say who it is or if they're gonna for sure be here because they're gonna be like,
We're gonna throw it on a Tasty Cast this week as well.
this weekend. We always do. A lot of episodes. It's fine. Wade loves it.
I'm sure.
Wade loves this. He even let me know.
Wade loves your suffering.
He loves chairs chock full of Chevy too.
Yeah.
Wade likes a lot of them. Wade likes quads. Wade likes getting talked about on the show. You could be talked about on the show too. Just go on Discord and say some shit. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye guys. Take it easy.